The moment you stop playing their game, you become the most dangerous player on the board. There's a breaking point for everyone, but when a Sigma male reaches his, it's not a loud explosion. It's a silent, calculated demolition. No warnings, no negotiations, just cold, efficient disengagement. Studies show that men who operate independently, like true Sigmas, are more likely to make drastic life changes without external validation. Translation: when he's done, he's done. Most people expect a dramatic exit, maybe some shouting, a few slammed doors, but a Sigma male, he just disappears, leaving behind nothing but silence and a sense of unease. One day he's there, observing everything, tolerating nonsense with quiet patience. The next, he's gone, and suddenly everyone is scrambling, realizing too late that they never truly understood him. If you've ever wondered what happens when a Sigma male reaches his limit, buckle up. Because it's not just a reaction, it's a calculated reset. And the aftermath is something most people never see coming. Number 1, he stops carrying dead weight. When a Sigma male has had enough, the first thing he does is cut off anything that's weighing him down. He doesn't just distance himself. He removes people, habits, and commitments that no longer serve him. It's not emotional, it's not dramatic, it's surgical. If you're draining his energy, if you bring nothing but chaos, if you slow him down even a little, you're gone. And the most brutal part? You won't get a warning. One day you're in his world, the next you're a distant memory. Most people hold on to relationships, friendships, or even jobs out of obligation, fear, or nostalgia. A Sigma male, he doesn't do emotional baggage. If someone's presence in his life feels like an anchor, he won't hesitate to cut the rope. He doesn't keep people around just because he's known them for years. Loyalty means nothing if it's not reciprocated. If he senses that someone is using him, disrespecting his time, or bringing unnecessary negativity, he won't argue, complain, or ask for change. He'll just leave quietly and permanently. This isn't just about people either. He cuts dead weight in every aspect of his life. If a routine isn't making him better, he drops it. If a job is draining him without reward, he quits. If a belief system no longer aligns with who he is, he lets it go without looking back. Growth is his priority, and he refuses to stay stuck just to make others comfortable. The thing that catches people off guard is how easily he does it. No dramatic speeches, no guilt, no hesitation. He doesn't sit around overanalyzing or waiting for the right moment. The moment he recognizes something as dead weight, it's already too late. And once he walks away, he never circles back. He doesn't do second chances, and he definitely doesn't do explanations. If someone tries to reach out after he's gone, they'll be met with silence or a simple, indifferent response that makes it clear. He's moved on and they no longer matter. This kind of detachment is rare, and it's why people don't see it coming. They assume he's just like everyone else, someone who can be convinced to stay or manipulated into caring. They learn too late that a Sigma male doesn't carry dead weight. He drops it, and when he does, it's final. Number 2, he becomes dangerously indifferent. Indifference is the final stage, the ultimate shutdown. When a Sigma male is truly done, he doesn't waste a single thought on the person, situation, or environment that pushed him to his limit. He doesn't stalk your social media, doesn't replay old conversations in his head, doesn't even feel the need to prove anything. It's not about making a statement. It's about moving on so completely that you might as well have never existed in his world. Most people think the worst thing someone can do is hate them. Hate is loud, it's emotional, it still requires energy. But indifference? It's a void, an absence so complete that it's unsettling. A Sigma male won't block you because he doesn't even think about you long enough to bother. He won't engage in petty back and forths because your opinions no longer hold weight. If you show up in his life again, you're met with the same energy as a stranger on the street, neutral, detached, uninterested. This kind of emotional detachment is brutal because it leaves no room for closure. When someone hates you, there's still an opening for reconciliation, for explanations, for some kind of resolution. But when a Sigma male becomes indifferent, that door is locked, bolted, and sealed shut. You could knock all you want. He's not even in the house anymore. People often mistake his silence for bitterness, assuming he's secretly stewing or waiting for the right moment to retaliate. But they couldn't be more wrong. He's already too deep into his next chapter to even remember why the last one ended. Indifference isn't an act of revenge, it's proof that you no longer occupy space in his reality. And that, more than anything, is what makes it so devastating. Number 3, he masters the art of the silent revenge. Revenge for a Sigma male isn't about plotting or payback, it's about elevation. He doesn't waste time trying to bring anyone down because he's too busy rising. When someone betrays him, disrespects him, or takes him for granted, he doesn't react with anger or childish retaliation. He just disappears, refocuses, and starts leveling up in ways that make his absence loud. There's nothing more unsettling than watching someone you wronged thrive without even acknowledging your existence. That's the Sigma's greatest weapon, his ability to make his success feel like a consequence for those who underestimated him. He won't speak your name, won't argue, won't try to prove anything. He simply becomes so good at what he does that his life becomes a silent reminder of everything you lost access to. While others waste time seeking revenge through petty games and emotional outbursts, he's building, he's evolving, he's turning every ounce of disappointment into fuel. And the best part, he's not even doing it for revenge. He genuinely doesn't care about proving people wrong because his only competition is himself. But the irony is the very people who doubted him will notice. They'll watch from a distance, realizing too late that while they stayed stagnant, he became untouchable. The most brutal thing about a Sigma male's silent revenge is that it's not even personal. It's just a byproduct of his mindset. He was always going to succeed, with or without betrayal, with or without setbacks. But when someone pushes him to the point of no return, he takes it as a signal to accelerate his progress. And once he reaches that next level, the people who doubted him don't get a front row seat. They're left outside, watching through a window, knowing they can never be part of his world again. Number 4, he's already moved on before you even notice. A Sigma male never truly leaves in the moment. It happens long before anyone notices. Long before the final goodbye, before the last conversation, before the moment people finally realize he's done. By the time they start wondering why he's distant, why he doesn't respond the same way, why his energy feels colder, he's already mentally checked out. The physical exit is just a formality. Unlike most people, he doesn't need closure. He doesn't need a dramatic confrontation or a drawn-out explanation. Once he decides something or someone no longer belongs in his life, it's already over in his mind. No second guessing, no emotional turmoil, no regrets. He quietly detaches, shifts his focus elsewhere, and starts moving forward without looking back. People don't realize what's happening until it's too late. They assume he's still there, still invested, still within reach, until one day they turn around and he's gone. No warnings, no slow fade, just an empty space where he used to be, and that's when the panic sets in. The realization that while they were busy taking him for granted, he was already building something new, something better without them. What makes this so brutal is the finality of it. When a Sigma moves on, he doesn't leave breadcrumbs, doesn't wait to see if you'll chase him, doesn't entertain the idea of what if. He's not secretly waiting for an apology or hoping you'll come back with a changed mindset. He's genuinely done. And the most unsettling part, he's happier without you in his life. There's no bitterness, no resentment, just pure indifference. He's already surrounded by new experiences, new goals, and new energy that align with his vision. And the people who once had access to him, they're left wondering how they became irrelevant so fast. The truth is, they were already irrelevant long before they even realized it. Number 5, he stops pretending to care. A Sigma male doesn't waste energy on fake politeness. For the sake of social harmony, he might nod along, offer a half smile, or engage in surface-level conversation, but it's never real investment, just a strategic maneuver to avoid unnecessary friction. However, the moment he decides he's done, the mask drops. There's no more pretending, no more forced small talk, no more fake enthusiasm for conversations that drain him. If you're someone he no longer values, you won't get hostility, you'll get something far worse, absolute disinterest. When a Sigma male stops pretending to care, it's not dramatic. He doesn't cause a scene or make some grand statement about how much he's over it. He simply disengages. If you talk, he gives short, unbothered responses. If you try to get a reaction out of him, you'll be met with silence or an expression so unreadable that it leaves you wondering if he even heard you. His body language says everything. No eye contact, no nodding, no signs of investment. It's like talking to a ghost, except he's still standing right there. This shift is unsettling because most people are used to some kind of reaction, even if it's negative. Indifference is the one thing they can't work with. They can't argue with it, can't guilt trip it, can't manipulate it. And that's exactly why a Sigma male uses it so effectively. He's not giving you anything to hold on to, no emotional loose ends for you to tug at. You become invisible, not because he's trying to hurt you, but because he genuinely doesn't see the point in acknowledging something that no longer holds value. For those on the receiving end, this feels like being locked out of a house they once had access to. They knock, they call, they wait for a response, but nothing comes. And that's when they realize the harsh truth. They were only tolerated, never truly valued. A Sigma male's patience might be long, but once it runs out, so does any trace of obligation. If he doesn't care, he doesn't care, and there's no coming back from that. Number 6, he deletes you from his mental archive. A Sigma male's mind is like a private archive, meticulously organized, highly selective, and completely secure. If you were ever in his life, you had a file in that archive. Every conversation, every interaction, every detail he observed about you was stored away, whether you realized it or not. But here's where it gets brutal. Once he's done with you, he doesn't just close the file, he deletes it. No backups, no lingering traces, no nostalgic replays. You don't get to live in his memory rent-free. Most people hold on to the past in some way, replaying old moments, analyzing what went wrong, or secretly hoping for a different ending. Not a Sigma male. When he cuts someone off, they don't just become a distant memory, they become nothing. He won't sit around reminiscing about the good times or wondering if things could have been different. He treats it like cleaning out unnecessary data, gone with a single click, freeing up mental space for things that actually matter. The most unsettling part? He does this effortlessly. It's not a struggle, not a slow fade, not a process filled with doubt or regret. It's immediate, decisive, and absolute. And while you might still think about him, analyze what happened, or hope for another chance, he's already moved on to the next chapter of his life, one where you don't exist. You could try to reach out, try to remind him of what you once had, but it won't work. To him, it would feel like reopening a book he's already burned. There's simply nothing left to revisit. This level of detachment is rare, and it's why people don't see it coming. They assume he'll hold on to the memories, that there will always be a part of him that still cares. But they couldn't be more wrong. A Sigma male doesn't just remove you from his life, he erases you from his mind. And once he does, you become as insignificant as background noise, something that was once there but now completely forgotten. Number 7, he leaves people wondering what happened. When a Sigma male reaches his limit, he doesn't announce his departure. There's no dramatic exit, no warning signs, no final speech about why he's done. He simply vanishes. One day, he's present, engaging just enough to keep things moving. The next, he's gone, mentally and emotionally checked out, leaving behind nothing but silence. And that's when the questions start. Where did he go? Why is he acting so different? Did something happen? But the thing is, there are no answers. No one saw it coming because he never gave any clues. He didn't argue, didn't lash out, didn't beg for things to change. He just decided, and once a Sigma male makes a decision, it's irreversible. People assume they'll always have access to him, that he'll always be there, tolerating the nonsense, playing along, making things easier. They take his presence for granted because he doesn't demand attention or validation. But when he finally reaches the point of no return, his absence is louder than any confrontation ever could be. And that's what makes it so unsettling. There's no closure, no explanation, no way to undo it. The people left behind don't get to argue or plead their case. They just have to sit with the reality that he's gone, and they have no idea when or how it even happened. That lingering uncertainty, that gnawing feeling of, did I do something wrong, or was I the problem? That's what haunts them. They replay old interactions, trying to pinpoint the moment things shifted, but they come up empty. Why? Because a Sigma male never leaves a trail. When he's done completely. No breadcrumbs, no second chances. Just a void where he used to be. And that's when people finally understand how much they took him for granted. But by then it's too late. Number 8, he unleashes a ruthless version of himself. A Sigma male's patience is like a ticking clock. Quiet, steady, and often underestimated. He tolerates a lot, not because he's weak, but because he doesn't waste energy on unnecessary conflict. He observes, he calculates, he lets people reveal their true nature. But the moment he's had enough, that patience disappears, and what's left is a version of him that is cold, precise, and utterly ruthless. This isn't anger. Anger is messy, emotional, and reactive. A Sigma male doesn't explode. He executes. Every word, every action, every move is deliberate. He no longer sugarcoats, no longer filters, no longer cushions his truth for anyone's comfort. If you thought he was direct before, now he's surgical, cutting straight through the nonsense with brutal efficiency. His words don't just sting, they shatter illusions. He doesn't argue or debate, he states, and once he does, there's no room left for misunderstandings. And it's not just his words, his entire energy shifts. He no longer entertains manipulation, no longer tolerates mediocrity, no longer plays along with anything that insults his intelligence. If someone tries to guilt-trip him, they're met with a blank stare. If they test his patience, they'll find out there's none left to test. If they thought they could push him around before, they'll quickly realize that door has been sealed shut. The terrifying part. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't get emotional, doesn't even seem angry. But his presence alone is enough to make people uncomfortable. His silence is sharper than words, his actions more decisive than threats. When a Sigma male is done, he doesn't just walk away, he eradicates any trace of tolerance he once had. People who were used to his patience, his understanding, his quiet endurance now face a version of him they never thought existed. The one who has no interest in explanations, no sympathy for excuses, and no hesitation in cutting ties. It's a cold realization, one that hits too late, because by the time someone realizes they've pushed him too far, he's already moved past them, leaving them to deal with the wreckage on their own. Number 9, he makes power moves that shock everyone. When a Sigma male has had enough, he doesn't waste time on revenge or pointless arguments. He evolves, and not in a slow, predictable way. He makes power moves so bold, so unexpected, that everyone watching is left stunned. One day he's there, tolerating the nonsense. The next, he's completely unrecognizable. New mindset, new environment, new opportunities, and a level of success that leaves people questioning if they ever really knew him. This isn't about proving a point or seeking validation. A Sigma male doesn't make changes for applause. He makes them for himself. He shifts careers without hesitation, cutting loose from stagnant workplaces and outdated ambitions. He relocates without second-guessing, putting entire cities, social circles, and past relationships behind him like they never existed. He doesn't just cut ties, he severs them, leaving no loose ends for anyone to grab onto. What makes this so shocking is that no one saw it coming. People assumed he'd always be around, always operating at the same level, always accessible. But in reality, he was already planning his next move while they were still taking him for granted. And when he finally executes, it's game over. The people who underestimated him suddenly realized they were watching the wrong version of him all along. The ones who doubted him now scrambled to keep up. The ones who thought they had control over him realized they never did. And the most brutal part? He doesn't stop to explain, doesn't offer closure, doesn't give anyone a chance to adjust. He simply ascends, and by the time people process what's happened, he's already unreachable. This is what sets a Sigma male apart. When he's done, he doesn't just move on, he levels up so drastically that his absence feels like a personal failure to those who thought they could hold him back. And that's the moment they realize the truth. He was never one of them to begin with. Number 10, he destroys any leverage you had over him. A Sigma male is not the type to let anyone hold power over him for long. If you ever had leverage, whether emotional, financial, or social, consider it gone the moment he's had enough. He doesn't argue, doesn't negotiate, doesn't plead for fairness. Instead, he dismantles whatever control you thought you had, piece by piece, until there's nothing left for you to hold on to. If it's emotional leverage, he goes cold. The sentimental attachment you once relied on, dead. The way you used to guilt-trip him, push his buttons, or pull him back in, doesn't work anymore. You'll say the same things, try the same tactics, but all you'll get is a blank stare, or worse, complete silence. If it's financial, he wipes the slate clean. If he owes you money, he'll pay it off in full just to make sure you can never use it against him. If he was dependent on a job, a business partnership, or even shared resources, he'll cut the cord and rebuild from scratch. And here's the part that stings. He does it quickly, efficiently, and without hesitation. No begging, no second thoughts, just complete financial freedom. If it's social, he disappears from your reach, changes his number, blocks your access, walks away from mutual connections, and ensures that you can't touch him. You'll try to find him through old contacts, but they won't have updates. You'll check his social media, but it'll be either wiped clean or completely impersonal. It's as if he's evaporated into thin air, and no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to pull him back. The most brutal part? He does all this without emotion. There's no anger, no dramatic confrontation, just action. He removes every chain, every tie, every weak spot until he stands completely untouchable. And once he's free, he stays that way. No second chances, no lingering attachments, just a Sigma male who made sure you will never have power over him again. Number 11. He breaks the chains that held him back. A Sigma male doesn't believe in dragging dead weight. The moment he realizes something is holding him back, whether it's a toxic relationship, a draining job, or a so-called friendship built on convenience, he cuts it loose without hesitation. There's no long-winded explanation, no endless back and forth, no emotional farewell. One day he's there, tolerating it, the next he's gone, and there's no coming back. He doesn't do this impulsively. By the time he makes the move, he's already analyzed every angle, weighed every consequence, and reached the undeniable truth. This is holding me back. And once he sees that, the decision is instant. He doesn't need closure, doesn't need permission, doesn't even need people to understand. He just walks. If it's a toxic relationship, he stops engaging. The arguments, the guilt-tripping, the endless cycle of manipulation, it all stops affecting him. He detaches completely, and when he leaves, it's not just physical, it's mental, emotional, and absolute. The other person might try to provoke a reaction, but he gives them nothing. If it's a soul-sucking job, he's done being underappreciated. He doesn't complain about bad management, doesn't sit around waiting for a promotion that will never come. He makes his exit quietly but strategically, moving on to something better while his former employers are left wondering how they ever let him go. If it's a fake friendship, he simply stops showing up. He won't call to explain, won't argue about who did what. He just fades out of their world as if he was never there. And when those people finally notice his absence, they'll realize he was the one adding value all along. The most brutal part? He doesn't look back. No regrets, no second-guessing, no nostalgia for what once was. Just a clean break, a lighter load, and a Sigma male who's now unshackled and moving forward at full speed. And for those left behind, they don't just lose him, they lose access to the world he was building, and that's a loss they'll feel forever. When a Sigma male has had enough, he doesn't make threats, seek revenge, or beg for understanding. He vanishes in every way that matters. He becomes untouchable, unreadable, and completely immune to the things that once held him back. No warnings, no explanations, no dramatic exits, just a quiet, absolute disappearance that leaves people stunned and scrambling to understand what happened. But by the time they realize, it's already too late. He's leveled up, evolved, and built a new reality where they don't exist. The doors they once walked through are now sealed shut, and no amount of regret will unlock them. And that's the brutal truth about a Sigma male. When he's done, he's done. No second chances, no lingering attachments, no looking back. The people who underestimated him will feel his absence more than they ever appreciated his presence. And while they're left wondering where he went, he's already moved forward, stronger, wiser, and completely free. If this hit home, don't just sit there. Hit that subscribe button and join a community that actually gets it. Drop a like if you know a Sigma male who moves this way, and let me know in the comments, what's the most Sigma move you've ever pulled? And don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because trust me, someone out there still thinks they have control over a Sigma male, and they're about to get a rude awakening.